Alright, welcome back to, and why do I say alright each time? But welcome back to the third episode of me playing the More Slugcats dating simulator. The last part had us meet Rivulet, and that was certainly an experience. And the first one, of course, was Spearmaster. So, in this third part, we are going to see what the third route is. Let's get started. You have been through hell and back, but now it's time to atone for your sins in your past cycles. You must find a mate or die. Which direction do you head? South. To the south, you approach a land of waste and ruins. The scattered byproducts of bygone eras lie strewn across the landscape in mountains that resemble artificial hills and mountains. You proceed further. Artificer. Suddenly, in the distance, you see a crimson-colored slugcat. She is aggressive and seems to have the ability to create explosions from her body and propel herself with the shockwaves. She is a mother slugcat who is grieving the loss of her children. Regardless, she is your only hope of continuing your lineage. You must choose to approach her carefully, or else she'll flee due to her being terrified and grief-stricken. I wouldn't really say terrified, but yeah, poor Arti. Sneak up on her. You remain silent and hidden among the tall blades of grass, slowly approaching the mother slugcat. Your body is shaking nervously and your eye is twitching. Your efforts of remaining unseen are in vain. The mother slugcat looks directly at you. You feel your heart pounding as she stares into your eyes. She lets out a loud hiss, jumping backwards in an exaggerated fashion. She is scared of you, just as you are of her. It seems you share a tragic bond. Both of you are lonely individuals. Hand her a rock. That's not going to end well, but that's why we're doing it. You pick up a rock and hand it to the mother slugcat. She holds it in her hand and stares at it, but doesn't seem to be pleased. She places it into her mouth, coating it with an explosive substance. She spits it out, having turned the rock into an explosive. She holds it in her paws and seems to admire it, and then throws it at you. It explodes upon impact with you, causing you to fall backwards. You are dazed and confused as the world spins around you. You struggle to breathe as the world fades to black. I need to stop stuttering. Throw the egg at her. You fling the explosive egg at her in an attempt to subdue her. The egg shatters when it hits the ground, instantly beginning to generate a space-time singularity. Other slugcat creates her own explosion, parrying the egg back towards you. You try to run away, but the shockwave of the explosion slams into you, hurting you severely. You lie on the floor dying as the other slugcat looks at you with pity. She utters a few last words. I am sorry, but you should have known better than to mess with the mother slugcat on the hunt. Aw. Artificer sympathizes. We sneak up on her. Keep moving towards her. You continue moving cautiously, approaching the mother slugcat at a slow pace. It isn't working. I swear to God, why am I getting a notification now of all times? You continue moving cautiously, approaching the mother slugcat at a slow pace. It isn't working. She remains frightened of you. You try to think of how to calm her, but it seems your efforts are in vain. She grabs the spear lying on the ground next to her. You watch as she aims it directly at you. Please, don't hurt me, baby. You find yourself saying. Her spear releases, flying straight towards you. You attempt to dodge, but to no avail. It pierces straight through you, and you fall to the ground. You have been killed by the mother slugcat. Yep. Alright. Speed further, sneak up on her, blush at her. That face again. You giggle at her exaggerated jump and blush, and she stares at you angrily. She begins heading away from you, and despair wells up inside of you. It's your last chance, and you have to take it now. Wait! She stops walking, her back still facing you. Your voice trembles as you speak out to her again, tears running down your face. She slowly turns around to you. Words, I swear to God. She slowly turns around to face you once more. It seems you have nothing to lose, so you try one last thing to convince her. Please, go out with me. Help, I just wanted chicks. Oh no. She stares at you, and then begins laughing. You feel mentally crushed by her laugh. You're pitiful, she says. I'm going to end you. The mother Slugcat suddenly pounces at you. It's quick and vicious. It's all over before you have time to react. Dang. Alright then. Ending their suffering. You got and blush at her. Wait, did I already do everything here? Yeah, I did. Okay. You're cute, heart thing. You blushing. You let out the words, the truth that you couldn't hold back. The mother Slugcat turns her head and begins walking towards you with a curious expression on her face. She rubs your head with her paw. You can feel your heart pounding in your chest. She hugs you with one of her claws and you hug her back. Aww. Wholesome. You don't need to be alone, baby. What is that face? What is going on here? She softly smiles and gives you a kiss on the cheek. You take her paw in your hand and look into her eyes. Behind her, the sun bursts through the clouds, casting an array of beautiful colors on the landscape. The rain stops falling and a rainbow forms overhead. Regurgitate a pearl from in your stomach. Wow, alright then. That is both disgusting and probably a terrible idea. I think we all know which direction this is going. Yep. You pull the large round pearl from your stomach and offer it to her. Immediately 100 scavengers emerge at the side of the pearl with raised spears. You back away and the mother Slugcat hisses and spits at them. The scavengers growl in anger and begin charging at you both. The two of you are outnumbered, but you have each other, and that's all you need. You stand ready to fight, you and the mother Slugcat fight valiantly against the vicious horde of scavengers, but you are ultimately overcome. Sacrifice yourself, taking several of the scavengers with you. She escapes without so much as a scratch, leaving you to die a warrior's death. Dang. Okay, so what is with scavengers just taking everything that Arti loves? That is sad. Start, go back. I know what you really need. Oh, why is she crying? You say this and she looks at you with curiosity. What could you possibly know about me? She asks. You're lonely. She looks away sadly, and her body begins shaking. Dang. She stumbles backwards and falls over onto the ground. With a gasp, she says, "You understand me perfectly." She begins crying loudly, and you sit by her. You stroke her face with your long, slimy fingers, and she stops crying. Now, you need children. I mean, if I were Artificer and I had my children dead and my whole life was turned around in a vengeance spree, I would be pretty upset if somebody said that, because who the heck would replace my children? Nobody's going to bring them back. But I mean, we're trying to go for the death things, and the egg usually goes for the other things. So you need children. He looks at you in confusion as you explain yourself. We could populate this world, make new children. She growls angrily and begins to cry again. I had children. She looks at you angrily and spits in your face. They can't be replaced. She disappears, leaving behind a dust cloud. Oh? You weep as she leaves. And then you pack your things and leave as well. Yeah, that's so sad. Return to shelter. So is Artificer not gonna kill him? The rain is starting to come, and you spent so much time talking that you forgot to eat. You lay down and accept your fate. Wow, that's nice. Alright, restart. Now let's keep going, proceed further, got blush. I know what you really need. You need egg. That face again. You take out the egg you've been carrying around and give it to her. She accepts it, and her eyes brighten up. With a smile on her face and the egg in her hands, she sits down. She places it in her mouth and coats it with a transformative bacteria. She spits it back out and places it on the ground. The egg begins to glow in a bright light. She steps back and stares at it, and the egg begins to transform. Figures emerge from the light. What did you just do? Is this how babies are made? I'm kidding. That was terrible. Pretend I never said that. What did you just do? Mother, we are reborn. We have reintroduced to the existence. We are a family now. ... Dang. Why? The new creatures look like the mother Slugcat, and she is happy. She hugs the figures, and they embrace her back. You feel like you have finally done something right, and you have. Goodbye, loneliness. Goodbye, sadness. Hello, family. Walk into the light and embrace them. You walk towards the figures emerging from the light, and they embrace you. Slimy bodies feel warm with the touch, and you feel tears escape your eyes. You have never felt so loved in your life. You enter the light as a family. Wow! First time using the egg and not being just obliterated first, I think. Egg. That's kind of wholesome. Alright, I'm gonna accept my fate. And now that's the end of this part. Yeah, there will be another part. So be sure to watch that one. I am not very good at this.